Hey guys, in this video what we are going to do is just modeling. So go ahead and open your Maya and your ZBrush because we are going to use that. Or if you decide to just use Blender, you can just go ahead and do that too. So open whichever modeling software that you are going to use and we are going to model what's in our asset list right here. So pillar, circle, as far as I can remember, those are these things right here. It's like a pillar, but it's, well, kind of circular and elongated instead of square. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna do my bases here and I need something like this one. Okay, so I'm gonna lower the subdivisions here and maybe put it down to, well, 8's good enough for me. And I'm going to create a plane again, just like the last course. We keep making planes so that everything is snapped into that and it's above the world. So I'm gonna put that there, put my pivot point right here. Hopefully you still remember the shortcut keys because I don't have them popping up in here anymore. So hopefully you get that done in the beginner's course. But I'm gonna go talk about a little bit of the shortcut keys when I remember to say them. Well, maybe I should. Yeah, so one thing that we forgot to do is, of course, our human, which is going to be the square right here. So remember what I told you the last time, we need to have a reference human. So we're not just randomly creating objects in here and it's off. It's not the right size. So our human is going to have a height of 1.8 right here. Just like the last time, I'm going to put this up in here, put it down right here. I'm going to put it there. It doesn't really matter what the width and the depth is, as long as the height is correct. We're mainly just using that as reference. And I'm just going to quickly check on my settings if this is on centimeters, because I'm still using centimeters because I've used that on the last course. And I want everything to match. Feel free to use meters if you want. And preferably, you need to do that before you start modeling. So Windows right here, I'm going to go to settings and preference, so preference in here, and I'm going to settings right here. So you can see we have centimeter right here, so I'm good. And make sure that on the Windows again, that when you go to the settings and preference, and you go to the plugin manager, that the OBJ and FBX is checked. So mine's checked right here. So when I export this, this is just going to be okay. And when I export it like this, the OBJ is going to show and the FBX is going to show, and that's what we want. Okay? So let's start this. So I'm going to put this here. And I remember I said I need about 4 of them. Okay? So 4. So I'm going to duplicate this, Control D, duplicate. And I'm just going to make them all different in a way. Maybe size or kind of structure, width or depth or anything else. Something like this. You don't need to worry much about this being too detailed because these are just the baseline. We are going to transfer this in ZBrush and we are going to put the details in there and just decimate it, just like the last time. Okay, something like this. I'm gonna put this here, like that, and maybe gonna put this here, so something like this. So I'm going to merge them. I'm gonna go back to my custom tools right here. If you don't know how to add that, you are just going to menus somewhere in here, just like the merge right here that you see, it's right here. And all you have to do is hit Control Shift, left click mouse, and then as you can see right here, it's gonna be add. To delete that, just delete. Just know that you can't drag and drop or rearrange this, so you have to create them the way you want in the first place. So that's really all I did to kind of set things up. Just make sure that the pictures matches. Know that when you go right here and you go down right here, the picture right here is going to match on that. So just use that as a reference. So I am going to merge this. So I'm going to combine right here. This is my pillar. And I'm just going to drag the pivot point here. It doesn't really matter at this point because we're going to edit this, separate it later on. Okay, so we're done with the base on our pillar. Next, we need a torch, staff. And I decided to, yes, just model it, girl. Just model it. The more models you have, the more fun you're gonna have kind of designing your scene. So let's go and just do just that. Well, I'm just gonna go separate this and maybe just combine them later on when I'm done. So I'm gonna duplicate this one, get it in there, center the pivot, kind of take it down, make it smaller, because remember we're creating a torch. So something like that. Maybe I can just add a quick loop right here, transfer to vertex, highlight all of this, and just make it bigger. Because why not? You can always edit this later. So something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna go edit that later. Okay, so I'm gonna transfer that here. Next thing that we have here is the circle and gone shape, a thin rock, and it's at the bottom. So I need 5 of this. And I said it was on the scene. I forgot what I meant by that. Oh, this things that has a different kind of number of vertex count. I'm just talking about the edges right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, we're gonna make it circle and maybe just adjust the edges and make a shape, like random shapes, just like that. So put another one of this in here, make it smaller, because like I said, this is stuck on the ground supposedly. So something like this. I'm gonna snap here. Okay, so something like that. And maybe I can lower down the subdivision a little bit. And I keep forgetting the number that I put. What a noob. I'm such a noob. Need 5. Okay, so duplicate this 5 times. 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm on 4 now and 5. Okay, so I'm going to just combine that. That is my... Okay, well, maybe put this on the... Well, no, I'm gonna keep that there so I know where I start and stuff. I'm gonna put this one here too, so it's like by lines. The front is the models that I've started on first, second one, third one, something like that, if that makes any sense. So next one, we need a tree. And then Asian portal. So said I need 2 variation. We can just do this on ZBrush, yeah. But since we're doing 2, what I'm going to do is build one base in Maya and then build one completely in ZBrush. So let's go ahead and build a base. I'm gonna go save this. I'm gonna build a base in here for one tree, and I'm going to kind of mess with it on ZBrush later on. So I'm just kind of like really building basic structure. I'm going to shape this later on and further kind of shape it in ZBrush later on. I'm going to kind of dynamesh this so everything is kind of like stitched together and it's not silly looking like this. I promise this is going to look good. Like, you guys know me, you know how I model. I'm going to make this look good later on. Just looks whack right now. Like really whack, like seriously whack. I'm even gonna make this pen later, but let's see. Duplicate, put it here, combine it. Put that here. In the middle maybe. Something like this. Put that down here. And kind of go to my custom again, separate it, delete this one. So maybe something like this. Yeah, that's gonna be my tree. Oh my gosh, it looks so stupid. It's gonna look good later. Merge everything. If someone asks you how good I am at modeling, just screenshot this and send it to them. Good luck finding a job in the future. Well, I wouldn't have to find a job on future if this course blew up. I've always wanted to work for myself. It's always good. Minus the hassle of waking up early in the morning. Okay, ancient portal rock. I need 4. I remember what that looked like. I said something like this. This thing's right here. So let's see. Okay, 4. For that, I'm just gonna go and create a cube, because why not? And I'm just gonna go to my custom again. Extrude, honey, extrude this. Click both faces on the side, spread this, maybe get this, scale it, get this one. I just want the general shape, and then I'll edit it later on. Okay, so it's too big. So something like this. Put it here again. Maybe something like this. Duplicate it again. I just want a little bit of, so it looks kind of different. So one last time, because I said I want 4. Okay, so something like this. Is that too small? Yeah, that's too small. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of merge this. So combine first, and then center pivot to make sure that it's in the middle right here. Doesn't really matter, you don't need to perfect the pivot right now, because we are going to fix that later on when the model is finalized. So put this here and here. Almost done with the bases. It's weird how fast we're going. Mini ancient portal rock. Okay, so mini. So what I'm going to do with those things, how many did I say? Mini, okay, 4, it's those smaller things that I'm talking about. It's the things that you see right here, if you can remember. So they're not really special. So I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna duplicate this and make this even smaller, and that's that. I'm gonna edit this later on in ZBrush. They're not really special, you know. They're not special. They're the children of these rocks, and they're not special. Am I being too mean? I don't know. I'm just simply telling a rock that they're not special. I remember someone telling me, because I met a friend of mine here in Canada. I met his parent, right? And his mom is really nice, and his grandma. And I was like, hey, your parents are really nice. There's something that must have been really interesting about me that make them like me. Something like that. And he's like, well, they're just being nice. You're not that interesting. And he has that stupid sarcastic look in his face. Now don't take offense to that, guys. I like insults like that. Like, I like my friends because they say the most ridiculous things like that, and I learn to take that as sarcasm, and I laugh along with them. Because it's just so funny. Because I know in my head, like, please, I'm the most interesting person you know. You shut up, you know? But it's really funny getting this though, because nobody else can do it in my face but them. So I enjoy it when it happens. It doesn't happen that much. Anyway, going back to this. Okay. We're going to create a stair, and it's supposedly round. I remember what this looks like, but just in case. I'm gonna go look here. Oh, please shut up. You forgot what it looks like. Yeah, I do. So this thing is right here. So what we can do is create a cylinder and just kind of like cut this. It's not making sense drawing it like that. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. So something like this one. And I'm going to up the subdivision. I'm gonna go take this up because I'm not that interesting. Oh, jeez. I'm having fun. I'm having fun modeling. I'm really having fun. Okay, so take this down in here. So that's V. And I can just like select faces and kind of like extract them and then fill it in. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm going to do it and show you. So I just hit Control Shift and then Control now. So top, bottom selected, and I'm going to again extrude. So they're going in. I can just, well, do this then. Either way, it's gonna be fine. Like, this doesn't need to be a perfect circle. Like, the more kind of mistake you made, the better, because, you know, I want them to look organic, not perfectly symmetrical. I'm gonna click this, I'm gonna go to face mode, and select it from the top. So the ones at the bottom should be selected too, and I'm going to delete. There we go. Next thing we're gonna do, select all the edges here. So double click, shift, double click here. Well, you know what? I don't need to select the bottom. You can just select the top. It's doing this weird Z planning right here that you can see because it's touching the plane, which is this one. So if you take the plane down, as you can see, it's better now. So don't get worried too much. So either way, select the top, select the bottom. We can just select the bottom. So double click this one, hit extrude, this one, and go to your selection, which is your W. And we are going to snap. So hold V, hold this thing right here, and just click this, whichever part in here, doesn't matter. Okay, all right, so right click, vertex mode. I'm gonna right click here, okay, then vertex mode. And then we are going to hit merge. Watch your poly count right here. There we go, they're all gone. Bye-bye, boo-hoo. Okay, so next thing that we're going to do is pick parts that we want to keep. Because, like I said, we want about 4 of these, right? So I want one that's maybe a thick one, thin one, fudgy one, fluffy one. The rocks are not fluffy. Well, they might have moss, you know, you'll never know. So click 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, girl, you can just highlight. What the hell are you doing? Highlight. The highlight. There you go. Problem solved. And I'm just gonna go ahead and extract this. So as you can see, we don't have the extract thing right here. But the one that we're looking for is called extract. So it should be somewhere right here. Where are you hiding? Hey, it's right here. Okay, let's go add this. So Control Shift, add it. There we go. Next thing we're gonna do is hit it. Click that. And as you can see, this is now separated. You know what the problem is though? It's not filled on the side, but that's okay. We're going to fix that later. Don't worry too much about that. Just pick your pieces and that's all you're gonna do. So what else do I need? Maybe I can just separate this, extract, separate this, extract again, separate this, extract 1, 2, 3, 4, and just like that we have 4. Okay, 4. I'm just gonna go delete this because I don't really need it. So object mode, delete this. What we're going to do now though is simply kind of separate them. We're going to add edges on the side, and the next thing that we're going to do is just merge this. I don't think it really matters what your position is because we're just extruding down. We just need the areas around here, 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 and here. I'm gonna highlight every single one of them first and just center the pivot so when I hit them, pivot it's at the center. I'm either gonna be making them bigger, smaller, whichever one I feel like doing. Something like this. You can always add more diversity later on. Is this even the right size? Okay, so if I have a human right here, and these steps are this big, well, I'm pretty sure the legs is gonna be all the way here, so let's see. Maybe I'm gonna make this smaller. You can always adjust it later, but let's make it smaller for now. I'm just making sure that they all have like the same level on the ground. That's at least one thing that I need to make sure of. So I'm just putting the pivot point down there, snapping that in here, making sure that they are positioned, because I don't want them randomly positioned on the ZBrush later on. So they can be randomly positioned on the like X here or the Z here, but on the Y they need to be on the ground. So yeah, I think I said snapping them on the X and Z. I'm actually snapping them on the Y. Alright, enough diversity. Okay, we have our brown Latina here, our black people here, white people here, and your crazy little freaking Asian right here. Don't ask too much about this one. This one's special and retarded. I'm not talking about the whole race. I'm just talking about me, myself. I'm kind of whack tonight. Let me be. So I'm gonna merge that. Right click here. Go to your edge. Make sure you highlight all these beautiful edges right here. Next thing that we're going to do, hit extrude, which is this one right here. And all you have to do is go to your selection, W. We're going to snap. Make sure you only highlight the Y-axis, okay guys? And just take it down. All the way down. As you can see, they have different heights, right? That's why it's not equal when you're kind of putting them down, and that's fine. Easy work. Do the manual labor. Maybe I could have leveled it up though the first time. So okay, a little bit of tip. If you're doing what I'm doing, make sure everything is level up so that they all go down the same time. Please don't take that as something that has a double meaning. Or am I just saying that now it's obvious? Okay, shut up. But yeah, just make sure that everything first is level up so everything goes down all at the same time. Or you're gonna have the same problem as me. You don't want that. So that's why I am going on manual, which is not a big problem either. But yeah. I'm just going to put this down and then merge this later on, because I don't want no extra wrong, not connected vertex, because that's always a pain in the ass. So alright, where is my merge? This one. Alright, went from 64 to 48. Perfect. And our stairs is done for now. Okay. Alright, so now what we're going to do next is we are making mushroom? Did I say mushroom? Ghost ball particle shape holder. What am I saying around this time? So mushroom glowies. The only thing we need that is the shape though. They're not that special to make. That phrase is now officially stuck in my brain. Now I make models and they're not really special anymore. I'm just kidding, they're special. Don't worry, sweetheart. You're all special in my little eyes. Because you know how some Asians are. Well, never mind. Just you know how I am. I'm not really kind of chinky, right? Because I'm partly kind of Spanish, but when I laugh, my eyes goes like this. It's like, instead of full screen mode, I go widescreen mode. You know? How is that even related to the course? Yeah, okay. We're making mushroom glowies. So right now, I'm making the trunk. Is that even the right term? The trunk? Which is this part right here? I'm making this part right here. A trunk. Anyway, whatever. The stalk? Celery? What is it called? I don't know. Put it on the comment section of the video. I don't know, I can't speak English anymore. So take this here on the top, make it big like this, put it in here somewhere. And maybe I'm going to select all the faces and round them up. Okay, so back to my costume. Extrude this. Inside, take it up. And just like that, we have a mushroom. We're going to make this mushroom special later on. So I'm gonna add one here. I'm just adding basic shapes. Make it kind of right-ish. Okay, something like this is good enough for me. I'm just gonna go kind of combine them. Take this pivot point down. I'm going to take them in here. How many mushroom glowies did I say I was gonna make? I didn't write it down. Mushroom glowies, 3 variation. Actually, we can just make one of this, and we can put here around 3 prefabs. Alright? Because you know, when we set this up in Unity, this is going to be separate, and this is going to be separate. And we can design them the way we want. So let's say we separate them. We can kind of snap this into the... I'm just gonna call it stock because I forgot what it's called. So let's say we stuck it up and snap it up on this stock right here. We can either kind of go tilt it, right? Or rotate it and do whatever the crap we want with it. You don't need to make so much of this. You know, when you're making mobile games, the more you can use your meshes and make them all look differently, the more optimization you're gonna have and your game is going to run smooth. So model and think of ways how you can use them in different scenes. Just like when I model this whole swamp thing right here, the models that you see here are used on the beginner's course. Like this thing's right here, this thing's right here, this, that, in here, you know? Even this, that's your portal. This is my old project, but you can just tell this is the portal. That's the part of the portal. Where am I? Particle shape holder. So this is going to hold the particle. So we have a circle thing right here, and if you can remember on the Soul Eater we have this thing right here, right? This is going to hold the particle in our Unity particle system. Like, you know how the glowing debris are like kind of being held by a box, right? In our case, it's going to be held by this mesh shape right here. Yes, you can do that. And particles could be in here, you know? So think of it like this, from the people that's not from the beginner's course. Think of it like this. You have a model of a jar. What do you usually put on a jar? Living things. You put living things on them, not cookies. When I was a kid, I was growing up somewhere there in the Pacific, I liked catching fireflies and just putting them in a jar and waking up the next morning and they're all dead. Now don't blame me, I was 6 years old, I didn't know better. I just know that they kind of look pretty, kind of like glowing in there, but I could have kind of opened the lid a little bit, but I didn't know that, so. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna go back to explaining this. Okay, so you have your jar right here, and you want to keep this glowing fireflies right here. So how do you keep this glowing fireflies right here? It's either you're gonna put a collider there, or you can just put this shape, the model shape of this jar right here, and all the glowing particle system is going to be inside there. So your shape is somewhere in... Okay, so look at this. This is your debris right here, right? You see how they're traveling and moving? Now there are stuff that they can't pass, like maybe they can't pass in here because the shape that's holding him is just like this big, right? So you can find that somewhere in here on the shape, obviously, and as you can see, the shape that's holding them is just right here. Now you can either pick from a various of stuff right here, or you can just simply go to mesh and then select your mesh from there, and it's gonna be hold from that shape. Ta-da! Now you have your own gigantic weird looking jar. See? Okay, enough of that stuff. Let's go back to modeling. Okay, so we can just create something like this, right? So I'm gonna zoom in, lower down the subdivisions because we don't need that much. It's insane, enough of subdivisions. You can just go up, go in here, maybe kind of take this down a bit. Hope you guys remember what the Soul Eater thing looks like. I didn't save a reference of it, but I can just Google it again, but I feel like you guys can remember it. What we can do is either we can edit this in ZBrush, or we can edit this right here. But sorry, I love ZBrush, so I'm gonna edit it there. Okay, so just like that, we are done making every single freaking basis that we are going to need. And what I want you to do next is save this, of course. I know I keep remembering it on the beginner's course, but I want you guys to keep remembering to save your stuff. So save it here, Swamp MB files, and this is your base environment. So maybe I'm just gonna put here swamp base environment, okay, and save. And the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to edit this on ZBrush. So I will see you guys on that next video. Okay, bye.